All right, shall we start now, please? All right, thank you for waiting. Once again, let me welcome you to the University of Ghana, the premier university in Ghana, and of course, one of the most prestigious universities in Africa. As you may know, this university was established in 1948. And so next year, we are celebrating our 75th anniversary. We are 70 years old. Since then, this university has produced about close to 100,000 graduates who are making contributions toward the development of Ghana and then the international level. We have students scattered across in a very high level positions across the world and doing so much. We think that you are the right place, deciding to join us today to have this global webinar session. The main purpose for this program is to help you prospective would be a student or students prospective who are considering to applying to Legon to provide you all the necessary information that you need about the unique programs that we have, about our processes, our application processes, our admission requirements and processes. So we believe that at the end of this program, all your questions, all that you have, the important information that you need to be able to successfully apply to get enrolled in our university will be made available to you. So we will urge you to take every opportunity that this program will offer. Just seize it and ask your questions. By the time you leave, make sure that all the questions that you have been answered and you are convinced that the University of Ghana is the university for you to enroll. So this is a 2-day session, global webinar session. In fact, is the second in a series that we've held. The first day, which is today, we intend to take you through, introduce our university to you, the undergraduate programs, a wide range of programs that we have at undergraduate level, the facilities that we have, the resources that we have, the faculty and the infrastructure, laboratories and sports facilities that we have to make sure that your stay in this university is worthwhile and it is unique. We will take you through and you have the opportunity to answer questions, to ask your questions, and senior members of these universities who are here to help you with your questions. After that, we also would introduce you to our graduate programs. So we'll also take time to take you through all the graduate programs that we have and how the application processes, the application requirement that you need to be able to get enrolled in our graduate program. And so fortunately, we have our two very senior members who are in very senior positions in this university to help us to lead in this discussion. So I would, at the appropriate time, introduce them, but just for you to know, today's program is to give you the overall picture of what programs we have on offer for you to be able to make a decision. And then tomorrow we'll have the information session where we zero in to specific programs and admission processes. So tomorrow we're going to have you coming in, those of you who might be ready to do the application or go through the application processes. We have our admission officers who will be here to help you to go through the actual application processes and the selection of programs, and also the requirement for each of the programs. So this is what we have for you. In all the sessions, we have given enough ample time for you to ask your questions. So we expect that these sessions will be as interactive as possible. You can ask your questions at the end of each of the presentations. So feel free to ask all your questions, and we will be happy to answer you. So without much ado, I will first briefly introduce our first speaker, who is the Professor Gordon Awandare. Professor Gordon Awandare is the Pro-Vice-Chancellor in charge of academic and senior and student affairs. He's also the director of WABIC. And so he is going to lead us to the undergraduate program, first of all, introduce the university to us, and then takes us through the wide-ranging programs that we have at the undergraduate level, and then the support services that we have, as well as the infrastructure that we have on this campus. So if Prof is available, I will humbly ask Prof to come in to lead us through this section. Prof Gordon Awandare, you have the floor, sir.
Yes. Good morning to you all. Good morning, Dean. Thank you for the introduction. Let me just share my screen. I hope you can see.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, good. So it's my pleasure to welcome all of you from across the world joining us today. We are grateful for your interest in our university. The University of Ghana is a university with rich history, a very outstanding track record of academic excellence, of a great African heritage, and also a very conducive campus for studying, one of the best in the world. So what I'm going to do is just give you a brief history, the structure of our management, some basic facts. I'll talk about our strategic direction and vision. Then I'll just give you a brief overview of our academic organization in terms of how our academic programs are organized, or academic units are organized. Then we talk about some of the other facilities that are available on campus to make student life more comfortable. And then we would conclude with student support services.
Prof, just a minute,
Yeah.
before you continue, just quickly, please kindly note that this session is being recorded. And so just for your information, and the video will also be made available to you. We'll place it on our YouTube session. So at any time, if you miss anything, you can still go back there and rewatch the program. Thank you, Prof. Thank you very much for your indulgence.
All right, thank you. So the university was founded in 1948, initially as a university college under the University of London. So it used to be called the University College of the Gold Coast. Then when Ghana got independence in 1957, became the University of Ghana. And we got full autonomy in 1961. Our governance and management structure is quite unique. So we have a chancellor, then we have a chairman of council, then we have a vice chancellor, we have pro-vice chancellors, then we have a registrar. So we are in a unique period of the university's history where our senior most officials are all female. So this is one of the things we are proud of, that we are setting the pace here for, women leadership. So the chancellor is a distinguished former diplomat of Ghana. She's called Mrs. Mary Chenrihesi. Our chairperson of council is a former Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. She's called Justice Sophia Akufu. And our Vice Chancellor, who's the executive head of the institution, is Professor Naba Appiah-Amfo, who is a professor of linguistics. In support of these, we have the Pro-Vice Chancellors, including myself, who is in charge of academic and student affairs. My colleague, Professor Asante, is in charge of research, innovation, and development. And then we have the registrar, who is the administrative or the operational head, of the university in terms of the administrative processes. Some basic facts in terms of university rankings. We know that rankings don't say everything, but rankings say something. So if you look at some of the most reputable ranking agencies, University of Ghana consistently ranked #1 in Ghana. It is mostly #1 in West Africa, except for a few times, but we are mostly ranked #1 in West Africa. We have extensive partnerships across the world. We have at least 107 partnerships. This increases every day. As I sit at my desk, I have new partnership agreements that I have to sign. So this number every day goes up. And these partnerships are across more than 36 countries. In terms of the basic statistics of the university, this is as at 2020, sorry, that's supposed to be 2020, 2022, not 2021. No, 2022, not 2020. So this has been updated just this morning. So our academic staff is, currently at nearly 1,500. This is those who are involved with teaching. And we have non-academic staff, a little over 5,000. These are the administrators, accountants, engineers, and so on and so forth. Total student population as of this year is 66,222. Of these, a little over 8,000 are graduate students and a little over 600 are international students. We have about 50-50 male to female ratio, and we are still predominantly humanities, with about a third of the students being in the sciences. That's both natural sciences and applied and health sciences. Our university has a vision to become a world-class research-intensive university by 2024. And this is meant to be achieved through 9 priority areas, and 5 of these are listed here: research, teaching and learning, internationalization, which is why we're here, gender and diversity, and external stakeholders, including our international community. In fact, this year, the university has taken a huge step in our internationalization drive. We now have a formal document to guide our internationalization, and we have a team to implement our internationalization policy. In terms of our academic structure, we have organized the university into 4 colleges. We have the College of Health Sciences, College of Basic and Applied Sciences, College of Humanities, and the College of Education. I'll tell you a little more about each of these. In addition, we have the Office for Research, Innovation, and Development that coordinates the university's research. And then we have the School of Graduate Studies, which coordinates all the postgraduate programs across the 4 colleges. We also have the Office of International Programs, which organized today's event, and their responsibility is to promote our international agenda and includes outreach events such as today's. Under the College of Health Sciences, we have the medical school and dental schools. So those are under the College of Health Sciences. We have the School of Public Health, School of Nursing, School of Pharmacy, School of Biomedical and Allied Health Sciences. And then we have a flagship research institute called the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research, which is the leading biomedical research institution in the country. The College of Humanities is the biggest of all the colleges, and it has many, many schools, institutes, centers, and so on. And I will just highlight some of the ones that are, very prominent. So there's the School of Law, the School of Languages, School of Performing Arts, our business school. We have a language center. We have a Center for International Affairs and Diplomacy. We have a Center for Gender Studies and Advocacy. We have the Institute of African Studies. We have the Institute for Statistical, Social, and Economic Research, and we have an Institute for Regional, Institute for Population Studies. Sorry. So these are some of the institutes and centers and schools in the humanities. Under the basic and applied sciences, we have the natural sciences, which include the biological sciences, the physical sciences, engineering, agriculture, nuclear and allied science, veterinary medicine. We have an institute for environment. We have an institute for applied science. We have centers for crop improvement, centers for infectious disease research, and we have a biotech center. Under the College of Education, we have a School for Information and Communication Studies, School for Education and Leadership, a School for Continuing and Distance Education. And then we have many learning centers across the country as a way of taking our education to the doorsteps of people across the country through these learning centers. The facilities, I already mentioned the campus. You can see an aerial view of the campus. It's very green, very conducive. The university campus is like a city on its own. We have all the amenities, all the basic amenities are provided. We have very nice roads, pavements, nice lawns, and beautiful trees, and generally a very conducive environment to both live and learn. And this is one of the, the prides of this university. We have a BAM library, which is named after one of our former university leaders. And the BAM library is one of the biggest libraries in the world, actually. And it has various sections for to cater for different needs. It has what we call the research commons, where students can go and access electronic resources, such as online journals and databases and others. Across the campus, we have Wi-Fi, and there's nearly complete coverage of internet on campus. We have computer labs where people can access computers if they don't have. And then each department has a library, and the halls of residence also have reading rooms, which students can access. We are very proud of our social life. So we have a very strong sports directorate, and the university is very proud of the athletes we've produced. We have national athletes for almost all the different disciplines. So currently the national champions for most of the sprints are students or alumni of the University of Ghana. So we have a very strong, sports, track. Because of the vast nature of the campus, there's a need for transportation and shuttle services on campus. So these are all provided for, and students can move across the campus through whatever means that they prefer. We have massive residential facilities, even though not adequate for the number of students we have, but we have many student hostels on campus. We have hostels dedicated to international students, but even these international student hostels, we've made sure that there are some Ghanaians there to ensure that our international students have a complete experience. So they have some local students with them, but we have hostels that are dedicated to international students. We also have facilities around the university campus, outside the campus, but around the campus, where those who prefer to live outside the campus can rent, rooms in hostels or even apartments in the neighborhoods that surround the university. Like I said, the university is like a city on its own. So we have, banks, we have a post office, we have a bookshop, forex bureau, markets, supermarkets, and so on and so forth. So you can live a full life on the campus without having to go outside the campus. And this is important for security. We have other facilities, laboratories. We have core facilities that students can share. We have a whole range of sports, entertainment, and academic user facilities that students can share all around the campus. In terms of the student experience, we aim to provide a diverse, multicultural, learning experience. And our local students can go for programs abroad, and international students, of course, are very welcome here. And we try to provide programs that would make their stay in Ghana enjoyable. So we have social and cultural events. We have what we call a DEBA that we normally organize through our international programs office. We have an international week. We have tours to various parts of the country. And we also have what we call the student buddy system, which links students up with others from other parts of the world, just to enrich the experience in general. We also have a tutorial system, both at the academic unit level and then the residential facility level. So you have faculty assigned to students to sort of mentor them and guide them through the university. We also have a very effective careers and counseling center, which provides support for students who need it in terms of career advice, emotional support, mental health issues, and career development in general. So this is one of the units that are really emerging strong in our current, academic environment. We have an international faculty, from both the African region and across the world, who are part of our teaching staff, and that also helps to enrich the environment. These are some of the pictures of our international students here, taking part in various events, both academic and social. We have, like I mentioned, we have some of our students who study abroad, and these currently we have students in about 22 universities in 16 countries, and some of these are listed here. In terms of our faculty, we have faculty from 22 countries, and these are in nearly all our colleges. Here is a full list of countries where our students and our faculty come from, and you realize that it's nearly everywhere, nearly every country in the world is included here. We have the opportunities for experiential learning outside the university environment. So students can spend time in orphanages, in primary schools, in hospitals, in all kinds of environments to get a different experience. And this is part of our new experiential learning course, which is being offered as part of the international student experience. We also have student associations where students can meet and have the social support that they need. And these are some of the associations. We have a Salsa Mango, we have a Leo Club, we have an International Students Association, and so on and so forth. And these are all opportunities for students to meet other students in a less stressful environment and to make friends and build partnerships. I already mentioned the Careers and Counseling Center. These are some of the the activities that they undertake and the support services that they provide. So to summarize, we provide an excellent environment. We have some of the best academics here who have trained from across the world, and they are putting their expertise at the disposal of our students. We are focused on training the next generation of workers. So we are trying to provide the 21st century training and also prepare our students to be competitive globally. The success of our institution is demonstrated by the fact that our alumni are spread across the world in some of the most reputable organizations, both in industry and in the public service. And this demonstrates the quality of training people get here that allows them to be successful. We provide a multicultural global experience for our students. And this is all part of the UG package for students who choose to study here. So these are all the ways that you can get in touch with us. You can get in touch by email, by phone, by WhatsApp, and also our social media are very, very active. If you go on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the social media pages, you can find the University of Ghana itself or our International Programs Office, and you can get in touch with us that way. So I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. For your very insightful and illuminating presentation, giving us why we should choose to study in the University of Ghana, the quality programs that we have, high quality programs that we have, and then the unique courses that we have on offer. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you've listened to dear Prof. I know you have questions. We are still waiting for others to join. We have over 100 people registering for this program. And so we are still waiting for many more to join. Before Dean of Graduate School comes in, we have a short interlude. We want to take that presentation first before we open the floor for questioning, unless you have burning questions that you want to throw in quickly. Otherwise, we want you to hold on, and then we'll take our second presentation. Then we will take all your questions at one time. But before the Dean of Graduate School comes in, School of Graduate Studies comes in. Let's have a short video interlude, and then just walking you through our university, our 75th anniversary, and then we'll come back.
Hello everyone out there. Guess what? The University of Ghana, the premier university in the country, established in 1948, turns 75 next year, 2023. And we are poised to begin a year-long celebration right into our anniversary year. I am Nana Abba Piamfo, Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ghana, and I'm excited to invite all you out there, our students, our alumni, our staff, our affiliates, and all our stakeholders to join us in this celebration. That means everyone in Ghana and a considerable number of people in the Ghanaian diaspora. We are excited about our accomplishments. We are excited about how far we have come, and we would like to invite you to join us to celebrate academic excellence over all of these 75 years. We are celebrating on the theme, nurturing resilience, adopting technology, and embracing humanism. Join us for the launch on 31st August 2022 at 10 a.m. at the Great Hall right here at the University of Ghana, and all the other programs that we have outlined to celebrate 75 years of academic excellence and resilience. You are all cordially invited. University of Ghana turns 75 years old. Proceeding to an integrity to make our nation proud.
We are 75 years, and this year we launched the 75th anniversary. And as you can see, we have very attractive and serene campus for learning and for community welfare. As you live on campus, as we mentioned, everything is here to make sure that you have a unique experience, a memorable experience, not only for studies, but for your welfare and your well-being. So at this juncture, I wish to call upon the Dean of School of Graduate Studies to make a presentation on the role of School of Graduate Studies, the programs that we have at the graduate level, the admission requirements, and the support systems that we have. So the person to do this presentation, as I mentioned earlier, is the Dean of School of Graduate Studies, Professor Robert Darko Osei, who is an economist, and then also the Dean of the graduate school. So Prof, you have the floor. The next 30 minutes or so to make your presentation, sir.
Thank you very much, Prof. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to my boss, the Provici for Academic and Student Affairs as well. Let me quickly share my slides and then use that as a guide to just share some insights on graduate training at the University of Ghana. You saw all those very beautiful pictures that the Provici shared, and nested in those beautiful pictures is the School of Graduate Studies. And so this picture is actually nested in the very nice pictures that you saw presented. And like both Prof. Awandare and then Prof. Osei-Assibey has said, it's a really, really nice campus, one that even for those of us on campus, we always are in awe of the beauty, and we probably don't even appreciate it as much. But it's certainly a very serene and beautiful campus that we expect and want more people to enjoy. The School of Graduate Studies this year is 60 years. It was established in 1962, and as was earlier said, is responsible for coordinating all graduate programs at the university, which essentially means that right from admissions through to the publication of results after you have actually completed the programs, is superintended by the School of Graduate Studies. So we oversee the admissions process with the academic units. Indeed, we oversee the programs the graduate programs that are run by the academic units as well. Periodically, these programs will have to be refreshed, and indeed the process of refreshing and the formal process is what we have actually heard about in the news in the last few days, that is accreditation. And it is indeed being done rigorously. We superintend on supervision of students, and so part of our pastoral role has to do with overseeing that students get proper supervision so that they come out as the graduate students that we expect to produce, so that they can contribute effectively towards development, not just in Ghana, but in every corner of the world that we find our graduate students or the graduates. Of course, because we superintend and are in charge of the process of graduating with a graduate degree, what it means is that those who actually do thesis and dissertations, and I would share some of the structure of programs with you shortly, but for all those who actually do thesis and dissertations, it actually will have to go through the School of Graduate Studies so that it is processed for examination. And this is to ensure that the quality of the thesis and dissertations that are produced by our graduate students is not compromised in any way, but also to ensure that it is effectively peer reviewed, just like all academics do. Even for us, those of us who have already more or less finished our terminal degrees, we still and will still want to publish in academic journals. It goes through a peer review. And so essentially, we play that role for thesis and dissertations. And of course, for each and every given program as well, there are requirements that a student needs to meet, and for which the student then will be awarded a certificate. And so we will ensure that, again, students have met these requirements so that effectively they can be given their certificates upon completion. So these are essentially the responsibilities of the School of Graduate Studies summarized in these 6 bullet points. As I mentioned from the beginning, the School of Graduate Studies is directly under the Office of the Pro Vice-Chancellor, Professor Gordon Awandare, who is in charge of academic and student affairs. The school has a board that directs the affairs of the schools, particularly in terms of policy. Before this then will go up to the senior management and ultimately to the academic board for approvals. And so the graduate board will oversee the development of graduate programs, the admissions as well, in terms of students who are coming in and what programs they are coming to do, and whether these programs have the requisite lecturers, but also supervisors in any given year. And so For instance, you can think of a situation where a particular academic unit is overloaded in terms of its the number of PhD students in a particular year. We don't want a situation where if a particular academic unit is overloaded, then we just continue sort of bringing on board more graduate students. So again, the School of Graduate Studies oversees all of these. Currently, we have over 300 graduate programs, MA, MSCs, MBAs, and of course, PhD levels. And as we saw, our population is over 8,000, specifically 8,170. Given the population of about 66,000 for the university as a whole, it means that the graduate proportion is just about 12%. And indeed, as it was mentioned, the university wants to become a research-intensive university, and becoming a research-intensive university requires that we actually focus more on research, not that we are going to forget about teaching, but the balance between teaching and research is actually changed more favorably in terms of the research. So now we just have 12% of the student population being research or graduate students, and the intention is to move this proportion significantly up. Now, in terms of admissions, which is the starting point for coming into the University of Ghana, the admissions process starts with the academic unit informing the School of Graduate Studies that they intend to run a particular program in a particular year. Okay, so once that input is received from the academic units, we then advertise using all the media that is available to us, print media, but also increasingly now social media. And for some of the units, admission process involves not just putting in your applications. Once you put in your applications, and in most cases, particularly for MPhils and PhDs, you also have to write a little proposal of what you intend to research on. Now, once the academic units receive this, then they would also, in some cases, undertake interviews of the potential candidates and use that as a mechanism to shortlist those who eventually get admitted. But the advertisement that we send out will outline how these academic units will do this. Now, for our applications, applications are all online, and so you'd have to purchase a voucher, and with that voucher, you can then do your applications online. Now, once that has been done, the School of Graduate Studies will review the documents and will ensure that you meet the minimum university requirements for graduate programs. Now, once you've met the requirements, then we actually clear the application and then notify the academic units. And the academic units will also undertake their process, and their process sometimes involves an entrance examination and also sometimes interviews. So once they undertake this, they then will do their recommendations again online. And once the recommendations are done, the system will then generate the admission letters, which are then sent out to potential students who will be joining the University of Ghana. For the master's level, typically we expect that the candidate must have obtained a very good first degree. Now, what a very good first degree means is that they should have normally a second class, lower or better. However, if you also have a third class, and based on your work experience, you can be considered for admissions. Okay, so increasingly we have quite a number of applicants who come through with third class, and ultimately they do very well at the end. Now for the PhD, there are two tracks in terms of the admission requirements. You can actually enter the PhD program with a first degree, or you can enter the PhD program with a second degree, i.e. a master's program. Now, if you only have a first degree, of course, the requirements when you enter with a first degree is slightly different, but in a sense, it's nested in the general requirements for obtaining a PhD. Now, if you are entering with a first degree, what it actually then means is that once you are admitted, you have to take the level 600 courses. Level 600 courses is essentially master's level courses. Now, if you complete the level 600 courses successfully, the department can then recommend that you are upgraded to the PhD level. Now, once you get to the PhD level, you will then take level 700 courses as a start. Typically, a PhD program in the University of Ghana is over a 4-year period if you're a regular student. And for the 4 years, your first year is for coursework, i.e. you do level 700 courses. And then the second year you do comprehensive, experiential, and then you use essentially 2 years intensively for the research. And so if you are coming in with a first degree, what it actually then means is that we are giving you an opportunity to do the level 600 courses like you would normally do if you are coming into a master's program, but you would not need to write a dissertation to obtain a certificate. You are then just upgraded to the level 700 courses, and then with the level 600 courses, it prepares you for the level 700 courses and subsequently for the comprehensives and then for your research work. Okay, so again, I think I've explained the PhD, those who come in with the masters as well. If you come in with the masters, you just do your level 700 courses, and then the remaining 3 years is for your comprehensives and the research. Now, typically for University of Ghana, the academic session comprises 2 semesters. Normally, we are not in normal times, right? But in normal times, the semester begins from August to December. That will be the first semester. And then from January to May will be the second semester. And typically, a semester for a regular program comprises of 13 weeks of lectures, 1 week of revision, and then 3 weeks of examination. So typically, your semester in total will have 17 weeks. Now, with the COVID and the breaks that we've had, we are having to run the semesters over a slightly shorter period, but the contact hours are protected. And so even though we will run a semester over a 10-week period for teaching, what it means is that your teaching in terms of the contact hours will be over a 13-week. So if it's a 3-credit course, for instance, then it means that in a semester, you are supposed to do 3 hours of teaching a week over the 13 weeks, which will mean 39 contact hours. Now, if you're doing that in 10 weeks, we still expect that it's 39 contact hours, but it's squeezed in a 10-week period, which just then means that the intensity of lectures is a bit more now than it normally is because of the compression that has occurred as a result of the COVID. For MSCs, typically we have 1-year programs. If it's a full-time, 1-year programs will be 2 semesters. If it's part-time, the 1-year program is over 4 semesters, but the requirements in terms of the credits requirements are going to be the same, except that for the part-time, you're going to do it over a 24 or 4 semesters duration, as opposed to doing it full-time, which will be over a 2 semesters duration. MBA, MPA, that's the Masters in Public Administration, Masters in Business Administration, Executive Masters in Business Administration. Typically, the full-time is over 4 semesters, and part-time is over 6 semesters. For MPhil, again, it's full-time, which is over 4 semesters. For the PhD program, again, as I alluded to, for the full-time, it's over 4 years, which is essentially 8 semesters. If it's being done as part-time, then it's over 6 years. Now, in terms of the graduation requirements, if it's a 1-year master's program, typically the number of credits that you need for a 1-year master's program at the minimum should be 39 credits. And it's 39 credits minimum. Of course, the maximum can be more depending on whether it's a long essay or a dissertation, it will be either 45 or 51 respectively. Now, the breakdown of this, the credits is such that for the master's program, there is a lot of weight given to the coursework. And so, for instance, if you just take the minimum requirements, the course credits out of the 39, 24 should have been coursework that is taken over a 2-semester period. Okay, which then will translate into a minimum of 12 credits per semester. Now, for each year of study, we expect our graduate students to do 1 semester, 1 seminar. And the seminar is, again, 3 credits, and it's compulsory. And so you cannot, for instance, say that I'm going to do a lot more credits in the coursework and then ignore the seminar. Okay, it's a requirement. So it's something that you need to always be mindful of. Also, for the dissertation is 12 credits. Now, unlike the long essay, which is 6 credits. And the difference between the dissertation and the long essay is that the requirement for the dissertation is a bit more. And also the dissertation will have to go for external examination, whereas the long essay is essentially done at the academic unit level. What it also means is that to get the minimum credits, the weight given to the coursework for the long essay programs is significantly more relative to the weight given to the coursework under the programs that will be doing dissertations. Okay. For 2 years master's program, remember I said that for each year that you spend on University of Ghana campus in a graduate program, you have to do one seminar. And so if you are doing a 2-year master's program, you would be required to do 2 seminars, and each seminar gives you 3 credits. Again, you cannot say that you are going to replace the credits for the seminar with, say, coursework credits. You would have to do 2 seminars. Also, you would have to do the long essays. Okay, so 2 years masters, of course, you are doing 2 years of coursework, and the total credits requirement, the minimum for the 2-year master's program with coursework is 60 credits, and the maximum is 72 credits. And it's a range. What it means is that you need to meet the minimum requirements of the coursework. And of course, those who want to take more coursework can do so and will take, if it's 3 credit courses, which is the normal case, then you can take 4 more courses over the 2-year period that you spend here. For the thesis option, you again will then be doing 1 year of thesis. So typically you are looking at the MPhil programs, 1 year of thesis. And so the weight that is given to the thesis is 30 credits, okay? The weight given to the thesis is 30 credits. Similarly, the seminars, both seminar 1 and seminar 2 attract 3 credits each. And so in total, seminars should give you 6 credits. And of course, you would have to do coursework in the first year. And coursework, which should attract a minimum of 24 credits. So while the total credits will be the same, the breakdown will be slightly different depending on whether the person is doing a 2-year master's degree with coursework or 2-year master's degree with thesis. Okay. For the PhD program, I mean, we know that PhD program, the emphasis is really on the thesis. Okay, so let me just clarify that when we say thesis as opposed to dissertation, we are referring to it in the English or UK sense, not the American sense. And so thesis is the longer one that is done for the MPhils and then the PhDs. In the US, it's the other way around. So when they say dissertation, it's usually for the PhDs, okay? But like I was saying, with the PhD program, the weight that is given to the thesis is very high. Total credits, minimum of 75 credits over the 4-year period. And out of that 75 credits, which is the minimum, 45 credits is for the thesis. So the thesis is a very important component of the PhD program. That is not to say that you've got to ignore the other components. Again, typically we expect PhD program to be done over a 4-year period. Each year you do 1 seminar, technically. And I say technically because for the PhD program, the first year that you are doing the coursework, you don't actually do the seminar. You do your first seminar in the 2nd year. And so in the 2nd year, you do 2 seminars, okay, to make up for the seminar that you're supposed to do for the year 1. So typically, the coursework weight is relatively low compared to the weight that is given to the thesis. But in total, the credits should be between 75 and 81 for the PhD program. Of course, for a lot of the research programs, particularly the PhD, there is a lot of international and research collaborations. And again, I think that the VC did mention some of these research collaborations that the university and other, of course, other collaborations that the university goes into. And so for PhD and even for some of the master's programs, you can actually have international supervisors being part of the supervisory team. Of course, you could also have internships where our students go out and vice versa. And you could also have exchanges, and I'm sure over the next 2 days, the Dean of International Programs will speak a bit more about these exchanges. Of course, some of the international engagements also involve the examination of thesis. Now, as I mentioned, for MPhils and PhDs particularly, but also for the other MA, MSCs that do dissertations, the thesis and or dissertations are sent out for examination. And external examiners by definition should not be a member or faculty of the University of Ghana. Okay, indeed, even if I have been lecturing here at the University of Ghana and I have stopped lecturing here at the University of Ghana and I go to, say, a KNUST or London School of Economics to lecture, within 5 years from when I resigned, I cannot be an external examiner to students of the University of Ghana. It's all to ensure that there are quality checks in terms of the research outputs that our students produce, okay? But also, of course, we encourage increasingly students to attend international conferences and workshops. ORID does provide sometimes limited funds, of course, but does provide some support for students and faculty to attend some of these international conferences, because it's all part of the experience of engaging in academia. So I will stop here, and I believe that we can take questions and then have more of a conversation around graduate programs at the University of Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dean, for your very detailed presentation. It's really insightful. Thank you. We will now open the floor for questioning. So those of you who are holding on to your question, now you have the opportunity to ask all your questions. So for those who join us in the midstream, we've been presenting to you our university. We've started with an introductory presentation and then also an exposition of academic, graduate academic programs, as well as the supporting infrastructure that we have. And so we just now finished the postgraduate presentation. The good thing is that these videos will be available to you on all our social media channels. So at any given time, you have the luxury of playing them back and then assimilating whatever information that you want to have. So these videos will be available. Like I mentioned, we're expecting so many people to join, but maybe for some reason they have not been able to. But for the few that are here, we want to give you the opportunity to ask your questions. Some of you have already posted on the chat, so I'll take a few of them, and then we will give you the chance to ask further questions. So There was a question from Olusola Adioye. Does the Wi-Fi still work for students, please? Or is it advisable to get a personal Wi-Fi for the students? Good morning. Good morning to you, Olusola. Yes, the Wi-Fi is up and running. It works in the hostels and in all academic facilities. We may have some few challenges here and there, but in most cases, we have a very active and strong Wi-Fi working, even in the hostels. Sometimes there are few challenges, but as soon as it comes up, we are able to attend to them and then get it running again. So you don't have a problem at all when it comes to internet connectivity across the campus or the areas of campus. We are even seeking to enhance that with a student hubs. I'm sure the Prof can speak more about that initiative that the VC has rolled out, which is being chaired by dear Prof. He would throw more light on that. And before other questions come in, let me quickly take this question from Emeka. Hi, I'm Emeka. I want to ask a question or two about what the University of Ghana perhaps is doing. What is UG doing or willing to do to get more Nigerian students, given the strike actions and Naira depreciation in Nigeria? Two, do you have scholarships for international students? Why don't you accept NECO as alternative to WASI for Nigerians? And finally, aren't UG tuitions in dollars too high, an average or too much an average for an average African parent to obtain? An additional question. 5, I also wanted to ask, do you now accept transfers from Nigeria universities? Okay, great. So I'm sure Prof. will take these questions, and then the Dean will take the scholarship questions as well. Prof. Please, can you provide us with some answers to these questions, please?
Dean, which was the one about how we are going to recruit from Nigeria?
Yes, please.
I thought you would answer that better than me. Well, so our very able Dean of International Programs has an aggressive strategy to engage our Nigerian colleagues. And we are hoping to open an office there very soon and have an officer, in country to engage, prospective students and parents there. In terms of, I think there was also a question about whether we accept transfers from, transfer of credit from Nigerian universities. Is that a question?
Yes, please.
Well, I think it depends on the universities. Some universities, we are able to have such relationships. So it will depend on the university and if we have an existing understanding with them for that. So that is possible, depending on the university. Yeah. Did I miss another one?
Yeah, NECO. Why don't we accept NECO as alternative to WASI?
Well, those are national regulations. Those are national regulations. Those are not University of Ghana specific. So these are what our government asks us to accept. We are a public institution, so we take instructions from our government.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Prof. So just to add a few things to what Prof. just said on our strategy for Nigeria, yes, as Prof. rightly mentioned, we are seeking to roll out a very aggressive program of strategy in Nigeria because we believe that Nigeria presents a huge market for us. And so we are not taking that market for granted at all. As you know, we already have facilitators around that are actually helping with our recruitment. I'm sure some of them are here that are supporting the recruitment exercise. In addition to that, as Prof. mentioned, we intend to have a residential recruitment officer in Abuja or Nigeria. We're going to do that shortly. We presented a proposal to senior management and we've been asked to work on it a little bit. And so I'm sure that very soon we'll get that in place. This person will be stationed in Nigeria and be doing all year round recruitment activities and promotion activities, which we believe will go a long way for us to attract many more Nigerians. On the issue of fee and the dollar in Nigeria, we reckon that that is a really a big problem. It's a big challenge for our prospective who wants to enroll from Nigeria, given the restrictions and the very tight regulations that the Nigeria government and then the Nigeria Central Bank have put in place. But we are still thinking through what is the best approach to this. But in the meantime, we have an arrangement with Access Bank where prospective who cannot get the dollar can go and pay their fees in Naira to Access Bank in Nigeria, any of the Access Bank in Nigeria. And so in that case, you don't need to get a dollar. Access Bank will take this money in Naira and then will convert it to us here, either in Ghana cedis or in dollars. So that is one way of trying to go around the problem. And then also the fee, yes, the fee is high, but you should also know that we have recently reduced the fees quite significantly. We have reduced it between 10 to 30%. That is for a Pan-African fees approach. It is only for brothers in the sub-region. And so for medical school like this, before just last year, students were paying around $13,000. Today, they are paying around $10,000. So that's a significant reduction. Bear in mind the cost of medical training and all of that, and then the quality of programs that we offer. So something is being done about that, or something has been done about that. And we also have a quite flexible payment system where students can pay half of the fee, and then for the first half of the year, and then the other half for the second half of the year. So that also provides some form of flexibility for students who cannot pay all fees upfront. So those are some of the things that we are doing. There was a question on scholarship. Dean, do you have any scholarship available for graduate students?
The simple answer is, well, it's a yes and no. Yes, because particularly for the PhDs, some of the academic units have scholarships. So if you take, for instance, WACI and now WACMIC, and of course WACBIB as well, they do provide scholarships for their students that they take. However, the graduate school per se does not have a scholarship scheme. What we do is that we make available information on programs for which there is funding. We make that available to the students as and when they are applying. But we also do encourage the students to always go to the academic unit's website and then check, because for most of them, they will specify that they do have scholarship for students. So there are quite a number of programs that were running and for which there were scholarships. So the APIS program, RIPS used to have it, ISA, which is the social sciences or college, under the College of Humanities, but also particularly in the sciences and then the basic and applied sciences, they do have some scholarships, but it's very specific to programs, and largely it is for MPhils and PhDs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean. And also just to add, we also have the Pan-African Doctoral Program that also seeks to provide some scholarship for PhDs within the region as well. Yes, so there's also a question from Sosa. Since UG wants to focus more on research, what is UG doing to support student interns? I'm sure it's talking about internships, right? And then there's a question here by Amadi. Hello, Amma, please, do you have online master's degree program for people outside Ghana? Yes, we will. The dean will take that up shortly. Sosa Maxwell comes in again. Since UG wants to focus more on, okay, that's the same question. More on research, what is UG doing to support students in terms of funding for their fees of PhD candidates, the PhD fees? There's also a question, if you, but from Amma again, if you don't, does the university plan in the near future as another way of helping people who, for reasons beyond them, cannot travel to live in Ghana for their master's degree? So let me pause here so we can take up these two questions. I'll come back again with those questions in the chat box. Then would you want to take the first question on the research and then the internship program and then the fee for PhDs?
Thank you very much. So the internship programs, again, are very specific to academic units. Indeed, for the PhD, the year 2 PhD program involves an experiential component, which requires that students actually get attachment with either a research institute or research organizations, or indeed practitioners in the field, and then get some experience, hands-on experience in terms of the field of study that they are involved in. Typically, the academic units do help, and advisors do help students to get into these internship programs. But it's beyond that, again, students are also free to look for some of these internship programs. But again, beyond the PhD program, we don't have specific programs that places interns for our master's degrees. The question on the online programs, indeed, only a couple of weeks ago, the School of Public Health have started a joint program with the London School of Tropical Medicine. Is it Tropical Medicine, I believe? To do essentially a joint online program, a master's program. Now, for even what we call our regular programs, a lot of it is actually done online. A lot of the sandwich programs that is also done by some of the academic units are also done online, except that, and until, even though we were gradually moving, and of course the distance programs are done online, until even though we were moving towards doing a lot more of the teaching online, there hasn't been a complete shift in terms of a lot of the programs. So there are, again, teaching is even blended, even when you're on campus. For some of the programs, the increasingly the use of online tools and the Sakai tool, which has been developed by the university, is essentially with the aim of helping to support these online programs. So yes, there is, but it's not across board. It's what my answer to that will be. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dean. There was also a question on fees of PhD candidates. Is there any plan in place to reduce fees for PhDs?
I mean, we've had a long conversations and engagements both with GRASAC, but also with senior management on this issue of fees. And I think maybe let's just assure all our stakeholders that we are not insensitive to it. But I think that we also do have to remember that there is a cost associated with undertaking training. And these costs are not necessarily, they are not cheap. And it is why we have the differentiated fees for Ghanaian and non-Ghanaians, because of course, Ghana government absorbs a significant part of the cost of training the students. And so what Ghana government is saying is that the part I'm absorbing should be for essentially Ghanaians, but also West Africans and Africans in that order, right? And so like the Dean rightly mentioned, we've had further engagements and are reducing the fees for some of the programs in as much as we can. But you need to undertake the training, okay? And you need to pay for some of the costs associated with the training. And it is not, again, I keep telling our GRASAC colleagues that training is expensive, and it is not for nothing that some of the best universities in the world have significant endowments that enable them to train students at a significantly higher costs, but it is paid for. Okay, so if you want to go to Harvard and you do not get scholarships, you would have to pay a significant amount of money. Okay, but it's the market and it's the cost of the training. So and the easiest example is those in the sciences. Reagents are expensive. So unfortunately, in the sub-region, for instance, with all these exchange rate problems that we are having, our sister country, Nigeria, is also having similar challenges. And you have to import reagents. Now, how do you get these reagents if you do not have the resources to do that? Unfortunately, government doesn't provide the university funds to buy these things. And so it is from the little fees that is paid that some of these things are procured in order to facilitate the training of our graduate students. So we will continue to engage. We will continue to think through creatively how we can make the training more efficient so that that cost of the training is not passed on to students, or some of the added costs are not necessarily passed on to students. So for instance, for our international students, first, if you were doing a PhD and you finished the PhD, you needed to either stay and wait for when examiners have looked at your papers or your thesis and it has been successful before you actually do your oral examination, right? Or you can go back to your country and then fly back into Ghana to do that. We've realized that we can actually save that cost. Indeed, even for our Ghanaian students, if you are from Kumasi or Takrady or Tamale, today you don't need to physically pay and then come to Accra to do the oral examinations. It's being done online, okay? But these are all things that we are trying to put in place to make not just the experience better, but also the cost of the training ultimately better and indeed reduced for our students. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dean, for that answer. So Abigail Gigino has a question. Good morning. My first question, will students who apply for a PhD after a first degree be awarded a master's degree certificate after completing level 600 courses? What is the difference between MBA and MPhil? And then the University Fund Exchange Program for students, the Fund Exchange Program for students. I don't quite get that, but I didn't. Can you quickly jump in this one, and then while we allow those who want to do verbal questions come in?
Okay, thank you very much. Essentially, an MBA is a taught course, okay, and it's more or less a terminal degree program, business administration and masters. An MPhil is a research-based course. And so if you looked at the structure of program and the requirements that I shared, the weight that is given to the research component for the MPhil is significantly higher. Okay, so we are saying that you need a minimum of 60 credits, and out of that 60 credits, 30 credits is for the research component. So essentially, we emphasize a lot more on the research component for the MPhil, whereas the MBA is largely taught courses, okay? So while the MPhil is for people who want to do more research, MBA is essentially for practitioners and those who want to go into industry. There was this question about, I'm trying to remember what, if you come in with a first degree to do a PhD, whether you're going to be given a certificate. No. You take, remember that when I was showing the structure of programs, I mentioned that you have the coursework component, you have the seminar component, and then you have the long essay or thesis component. So essentially, if you are taking with a first degree to do a PhD, what we do is to waive the, you don't do the, necessarily do the seminar and the long essay or dissertation. You just do the coursework, and that coursework alone doesn't qualify you to get a certificate. If, for instance, the academic unit finds that your performance is not great for you to be able to go to the level 700 courses, the department then will write to the graduate school board for the student to be allowed to do a dissertation, following which they will then be awarded a certificate. So just taking the courses will not be adequate for you to be awarded a certificate. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Osei. So at this juncture, do we have people who want to ask questions directly to our able resource persons here? Anybody with a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Please do. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Bashir Yahya from Zaria, Kaduna State, Nigeria. It was a very awesome presentation by both Professor Awandare and Osei of the graduate school. I have started the process of, I have an MSc in political science, and I intend to apply for a PhD in political science in the University of Ghana. I've started the process. I'm stuck at where I'm supposed to buy the voucher and make payment. My question is, why don't the university, that is University of Ghana, have like teaching assistantship as a form of support to PhD candidates, so that it will support, or rather it will like provide a caution on the effect of the on the school fee, just as the other participant has raised the question of too much, that the school fee is a bit higher. Yeah, it is. If you look at what we pay here in Nigeria, but in our undergraduate and postgraduate courses, it's significantly higher than what you expect to have. So I suggest, or rather I ask a question, do you have like a kind of a program whereby a student is pursuing his PhD and at the same time being engaged as a teaching assistant, so that he'll be getting like a support, so that he'll be able to have a convenient and conducive stay during his PhD? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bashir. Okay, Prof, you want to respond, Dean? Maybe Prof will come in and then Dean will provide support.
So the questions are on school fees?
Yes, on whether we have some kind of a system where PhDs can do teaching assistants to support, to pushing them. Is a form of a scholarship or something like that.
Okay, so like the Dean mentioned, these types of let's say incentives are available program by program. Some programs have, others don't. So there are some departments where they have a shortage of lecturers, so normally they engage some PhD students as teaching assistants, what we call graduate teaching assistants. And then also in some units where they have research projects, PhD students are engaged to work on research projects, and that allows them to either earn some allowance or have their fees paid, or have a stipend or something like that. So they get some financial support if there's a project that they are working on. So yes, some of these exist, but it depends on the program. So like the Dean mentioned, when applying to a particular program, you have to read about the program and look at all the incentives that are available to students who are in the program. So it's program specific. You have to identify your program and then check what is available.
Great. Thank you very much, Prof. Dean, do you have anything to add to that?
I think Prof. has said it all. It's very program specific. There are all sorts of, not just the graduate teaching assistantship, but even research assistantship that our PhDs involve themselves in. But you have to avail yourself and in a way that will not compromise your PhD work. But these exist. I mean, there are quite a number that I know exists. Of course, even in Dean of International Programs department, I know that there are a number of these things that exist, but it's a bit limited, and so it's not something which is systemic across board for all the departments. Bashar, the issue about the voucher, I think that, and Professor Assibey, I guess that if some of your colleagues can take it up with Bashar, we can actually help resolve it with the issue of the voucher. I think we can find a way around that.
Sure. So I'll put him in touch with Albert, one of our recruitment officers, to help him working through that. I'm sure you will be of good support to him. Yes. So any other? Thank you very much, Dean. Any other question?
No, not really. That's all. He has answered my question, and also I've been able to get some answers from the answers that were provided by Professor Osei to some participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Do we have anybody with a question or clarification? Okay, so if there's none, we'll take a short video to showcase one of our flagship programs, and then I will bring this section to a close. As I mentioned, this video will be available on demand. We also will put it in our YouTube channel. So at any given time, you can go there and play.
Prof, you are muted, please.
Oh goodness, I'm sorry. So I was saying that, do we have anybody with a question? Okay, if there's none, I think at this juncture we'll take a short video that showcases one of our flagship program, and then we will then bring this section to a close. As I mentioned, this video will be available on all our social media channels. It's also available on demand. You can request for it, and then we'll share the link with you. On our YouTube channel, it will be there. And so if you have missed any section of it, don't get worried. You have the opportunity to watch it at any time that you wish. So if there are no further questions, should we? if we are unable to answer or provide responses now, I will try to reach out to you and give you a response. Tomorrow is another day, very packed. That is the information session. In tomorrow, you have the opportunity to meet all the academic officers from the various colleges, and they'll give you the specific admission requirement and then the program combinations that you need to have. And it may even help you to go through your application processes, the form filling and all the things that you need. For Francophone, those of you from the Francophone, from Francophone countries, we also have a program in place for you, which we call the English Foundation program. And now this English Foundation program helps applicants who are coming from non-English speaking countries to adapt and to upgrade or uplift their English speaking proficiency in order to have a seamless program here. So if you apply, you indicate your level of English, and then the language center will come in to undertake a diagnostic test to place you. If your English is above intermediate, you come in 4 to 8 weeks, 8 weeks earlier than the school reopening to go through a very intensive English proficiency class, after which you progress to do your regular program to help you to upgrade your English proficiency and to have a smooth program here at University of Ghana. If your English is at intermediate or below intermediate, you will have to come in and then start a full 1-year English proficiency program, after which we will be assessed, and then you can progress to do your regular program, whether at undergraduate or PhD or master's. You will then progress to do that. So that is what we have put in place for Francophone perspectives, perspective that wish to come in, but for low proficiency in English, they are unable to do so. Now we have this opportunity for you to come in. So reach out to us if you have any such issue, and if you have any problem that you want us to address, we'll be glad and happy to assist you in every step of the way. Like I mentioned, we will bring this section to a close. Tomorrow, we'll start exactly at 9:50, and then we'll have the session being led by our academic coordinator, Dr. Dorothy Poku-Ajipon, to coordinate the tomorrow's program. We have the Senior Assistant Registrar from College of Health Sciences, who is also the academic director, coming in. Mrs. Baye MP Ajwa will come in to answer all your questions pertaining to health sciences. And then College of Basic and Applied Sciences will have Mr. Mausi Kofi Gluza, Senior Assistant Registrar, also coming in. We'll have Mr. Samuel Brew, Assistant Registrar from College of Humanities, would also be here to take all your questions. So don't miss tomorrow. We hope that the numbers will be more than we have today, and because that is a hands-on delivery program that we have for you tomorrow. So thank you. At this time, I'll call on our Senior Assistant Registrar, Mrs. Barbara Kukwa-Blankson, to give us a short vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, my Dean, Professor Osei-Assibey, Dean of International Programs. Let me begin by saying a very good morning from the University of Ghana and from Ghana to all participants in Africa and around the world. I would like to begin by saying thank you to you all for making time to join this webinar. We are grateful that you made time to join. I would also like to say a very big thank you to our very senior officials who have very gladly given some presentations. I'll begin with Professor Gordon Awandare, our Pro-Vice-Chancellor with responsibility for academic and student affairs. I'd like to also thank Professor Robert Darko, Dean of the School of Graduate Studies. I want to thank also my own Dean, Professor Osei-Assibey, Professor of Economics and Dean of the International Programs Office. Thank you very much. We know you are very, very busy, and so we appreciate your time and effort to help us understand the programs and activities with regard to international programs. I would also like to thank my colleagues, Mr. Albert Ajekume-Suman, Mr. Emmanuel Yautankwa, who are recruitment officers and who are in charge of our recruitment and marketing unit. Thank you very much. You know, you put in a lot of work. And then also to the entire team at the recruitment and marketing unit, Mr. Lawrence Ashiapo, Mr. Joshua Atio, thank you very much. And also to our academic officers, the Dean mentioned a number of them who join us tomorrow to give presentations and answer your questions. I want to thank them for the effort they are making and the time they're making to join us tomorrow. So for academic officers who join us from the colleges tomorrow. And then generally to the staff of the International Programs Office, this has been a teamwork. We very much appreciate your effort. Thank you very much. Thank you once again, all our participants. We look forward to meeting with you again tomorrow. I'll take this opportunity to encourage you to kindly invite your friends, your colleagues, and others who are likely to be interested in schooling at the University of Ghana. And I think that they would have the opportunity to have their questions answered. And hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. And a very good morning once again from us in the University of Ghana. Thank you.